Hi everyone, this is Shubhangi Mitra, International Evangelist for Billennium Divas. Entrepreneurship is an important driver of economic development and growth and a facilitator of empowerment for women around the world. The OECD recommendation on gender equality calls on governments to reduce the gender gap in entrepreneurship activity. Despite evidence that women tend to have better repayment records than men, they face higher barriers in this regard. These disparities are the result of the complex interaction of factors, including the way private equity works, the way financial institutions operate, and the behavior of women themselves. Women tend not to be strongly entrenched within the relevant investor networks. Lacking exposures to the world of private equity, women tend to structure their projects differently from men, which may itself affect their ability to attract capital. Men and women also have different styles in pitching for funds. Women too often lack the knowledge and confidence to ask for large enough sums and to negotiate well on terms. Over the past decade, women owned enterprises have increased from 14% to 20% as per the government sources. In continuation to our commitment towards encouraging and nurturing more women to take the entrepreneurial route and to support them with the best able mentors from across the country, we are delighted to present you the sixth edition of Women Power Summit and Awards 2021, the first edition of WPSA 2021 Awards this year, a unique one-day conference and a gala awards ceremony with an objective of bringing women thought leaders under one roof to share their expertise and innovation and create a collaborative environment as well as a build to stronger community. WPSA 2021 aims to understand and address the day-to-day problems faced by women who are looking forward to a career as a successful entrepreneur. It also acts as a platform to celebrate excellence in various fields by women entrepreneurs who have made a significant mark, thereby recognizing their contribution to the entrepreneurship ecosystem through 40 plus different awards categories and sectors across the industry spectrum. The awards are distinctly curated in honor of exemplary contribution and in an effort to celebrate excellence and recognize thought leadership, thereby setting a benchmark through a stringent process of selection by the elite jury committee, ensuring transparency and fair play. To give you key highlights of WPSA 2021 awards in Mumbai, number one, interact, network, and engage with more than 200 plus women entrepreneurs, leaders, and change makers. 30 dedicated awards categories exclusively for women entrepreneurs, women founded, co founded startups. 10 special dedicated awards categories exclusively for the startup ecosystem players in the country. Fireside chat, the center of attraction, government support, and the policies for women entrepreneurship. Panel discussions and case study presentation revolving around the women entrepreneurial growth ecosystem, and many more. Opportunity for selected startups to pitch to investors for funding and top three selected startups to win amazing prizes and many more. To know more, reach out to me or join the group of Billennium Divas Fund. The information is available on the social media. Now, most importantly, who should attend these awards? Women entrepreneurs, women founded, co founded startups, aspiring and rising women entrepreneurs, community builders, story platforms and ecosystem enablers, incubators, accelerators, e-cell of colleges and universities, women angel investors, venture capital firms, technology players, ecosystem enablers, and co-working spaces, corporates and state government impact creators, mentors, influencers, innovators, impact creators, and social entrepreneurs, digital marketing, PR and advertising consultants, L&D, recruitment, and HR professionals, women entrepreneurs, women-led co-founded startups in other sectors not listed in above WPSA 2021 awards categories. To give you honest opinion, the deadline to apply for these awards was 25th of March 2021. But to our surprise, the response has been overwhelming and inquiries are still pouring for the registrations. Today, we have Mr. Bhavesh Kothari, the co founder of Billennium Divas and one of the organizers of WPSA 2021, to make a very important announcement and to give you more in detail information on this event today. Namaste, Bhavesh ji. Hello and welcome.
Namaste, Shubhangi. Thank you so much for this wonderful introduction and giving the audience a brief of what WPSA 2021 comprises of. Thank you
Hmm.
so much.
Yeah, how are you doing?
Oh, fabulous! Super excited.
Yeah,
As days count,
yeah,
uh, we are super elated that the numbers are growing in the
yes,
awards space, not in the
yes.
COVID space.
Of course. I mean, I just thought that 25th March was the deadline, and then we had a interaction a couple of days back, and then we decided to do this YouTube video. I want to ask you, what is that important announcement you want to make today?
So before I get into a quick announcement, let me first of all acknowledge a few people, a few institutions who have been behind this whole
Mm,
initiative. Uh, WPSA 2021, as it is known as Women Power Summit and Awards, it's a sixth edition of Women Power Summit and the first edition of the awards.
mm,
We have been contemplating this award not yesterday, but it's been a journey of 3 years on what kind of matrices that needs to be put together, what kind of process that needs to be put together,
mm,
and the foundation stone of WPSA, or the Women Power Summit and Awards, actually was put when we started our first Women Power Summit in 2016 in association with Bombay Stock Exchange. And fortunately, we are on a full circle because WPSA 2021 is
mm,
again supported by Bombay Stock Exchange, by the government of Gujarat, and a few more ecosystem enablers in the country. Uh,
mm,
what we entail to do is talk about women in entrepreneurship. That's the first objective. The
mm,
second is recognition. Now, the process that we have put together is very, very stringent, right? And that is why what we wanted to do is to reach out to as many women entrepreneurs in the country, right? So the team has been talking to people. I have been personally, engaging with a lot of incubators, accelerators, ecosystem players, a lot of women entrepreneurs who I personally know, professionally engaged with on various mediums, right?
yes.
And when we were actually setting this entire process together, we said that, look, there are awards and there are awards, right? So there are
Mm,
awards who are based on, where you fill up a form, and then you get selected, and then you are invited to take the award, right? And thanks
yeah.
to those people who actually have encouraged us to take it to the next level. Then there
Yes.
are other awards where you normally apply, and then there is a process set, right? And based on that, you are selected, right? We
Yeah.
said, can we take this to the next level,
Mm,
and can we put up a more stringent methodology
yeah.
and a process which makes you really feel worthwhile in applying
Mm,
for these awards. And hence,
yeah.
what we did was we put up a process mechanism with the help of the jury. So we have a very light panel of jury comprises of some of the amazing thought leaders from the industry, right from Ms. Shweta Shalini, who's the executive director for Maharashtra Village Social Transformation Projects. She's an advisor
Yeah.
to the ex-CM Sri Devendra Fadnavis. She's also the chief evangelist for Billennium Divas.
Mm,
She's the jury chair for Women Power Summit and Awards 2021. With that, we have Ms. Namamita Mazumdar, who is also a 100 Women Achievers Awardee. by the Ministry of Women and Child Development. We have Ms. Rajshri Rajshekhar, founder of Poonam Foundation. She is a gender neutral mindset expert. We have Rutin Alpasha, who's a social entrepreneur and a finance expert. We have Shri Ajay Thakurji, who is the head for SME and startups at Bombay Stock Exchange. Mr. Mahavir Pratap Sharma ji, he's a chair for Thai India Angels. He's also the chairman and co-founder of Rajasthani Angel Networks. Mr. Ajay Mutreja ji, who's a strategic advisor and mentor to a lot of startups and has spent considerable time in the startup and the MSME space as well. Along with that, we have Mr. Pankaj Mittal, who is the CEO of Digisign Consulting. He's an angel investor, TEDx speaker, blockchain expert. So if you see the kind of jury that we have put together comes from a very diverse and a neutral background. They come from the startup ecosystem. They've been there, they have engaged in the startup space, and they have been a mentor and a nurturer, right, for the startup ecosystem as well. Now, coming to your question, what is it, the announcement, right? So while we have been going through this process, we have also understood that, look, the process that we have set is also a stringent one, right? And there are a lot of women entrepreneurs who need a lot of time in submitting those documentation that we require based on the parameters that we have set, right? Hence, we decided as a committee that we should, extend this date of the last submission nomination. And we also had, contemplated that when we put the entire process in the month of January. So when we announced that this is going to be, one of the unique awards that we are putting together, right? We did contemplate that there might be a chance where we would want to extend it and have more nominations coming in and give some ample time for women entrepreneurs to fill up their nominations, right? And hence, we have extended the date of the submission to the 5th of April, 2021. The last date, mind you, just went 2 days ago on the 25th of March, right? So that is the first reason. Second reason is, we are in the month of March, right? So March is a very scary month for all of us because we have to make sure that we comply with, all the processes that are set by the government of India in terms of taxation, in terms of audits, so on and so forth, right? So a lot of women entrepreneurs, approached us saying that, look, we are currently applying it, but if you can extend the date, that would be really, really helpful for us to put our process in place and create a more impactful presentation. Okay. So that's why we have extended this date to 5th of April 2021 by 11 p.m. Okay. So please take this advantage, take this benefit of the extended date. We have already received more than 497 as I speak specifically nomination requests, and some of them are already in process. We are currently also making sure that we are collating those information that are needed. Next week onwards, we will start talking to all those entrepreneurs who have submitted their nominations to make sure that they have followed the process, the documentation that we are requesting, so that the effort that they are putting is not going into vain. So that's how the whole process is going to be.
Wow. That's amazing. I mean, another 2 weeks, the deadline has been extended. What a joy. I mean, that's very considerate of you. Bhavishji, I wanted to ask you one question. See, there are many women entrepreneurs who are successful or maybe in a process of becoming a successful entrepreneur who needs recognition or maybe funding, but they may not be tech savvy, right? They may not understand the format or how to do everything technically. Is there any arrangement for such women who are, one of the strong candidates for these awards, but are unable to do the tech savvy things?
So what we have done is we've also simplified the methodology of how do you submit the nominations. So there are 40 categories, of the total awards that we have, out of which 30 categories are for women entrepreneurs. Okay. So categories such as women in fintech, women in health tech, women in wellness and beauty,
Yeah.
media and entertainment, digital media, community builder, social entrepreneurship, e-commerce, retail, manufacturing,
Mm.
technology, food and beverage, real estate, right? So these are some of the 30 categories and many
Yes.
more, of course.
Yeah.
What we also have done is, if you look at the startup ecosystem, right? If you look at the startup complete ecosystem, it not only
Mm-hmm.
comprises of entrepreneurs, right? There are a lot of ecosystem enablers. Now, what do you mean by ecosystem enablers?
Yeah.
These are the organizations who are actually creating support mechanisms. So, for
Yeah.
example, we are one of the ecosystem enablers where we are bringing entrepreneurs together under one platform, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
ecosystem enablers are the organizations who provide support system to
Mm.
enhance and encourage entrepreneurship. Uh,
Yes.
a classic example is, as you mentioned, incubators,
Yes.
accelerators, angel investors, VCs, which are venture capitalist
Yeah.
firms, entrepreneurship cells in the colleges,
Yeah.
co-working players,
Mm-hmm.
startup tech enablers. So these are the platforms who provide technology support to startups, such as you call it Amazon's, Google, IBM's of the world, right? So these are the people who provide a lot of value benefits to the startups as a part
Yeah.
of their initiatives.
Yeah.
Government organizations. So there are a lot of central state governments, for that matter, right, who are actually providing a lot of impetus to nurture and encourage startups, right?
Yes.
then
Yeah.
then there are story platforms, right? So story platforms are also a great way to inform the ecosystem or the industry of what's happening in the startup space, right? One of the very critical factors that we also consider is the CSR organization. There are a lot of organizations who are actually providing a lot of value benefits to nurture innovation within their
Yes.
organization or within the external players. I
Mm-hmm.
remember one of the oil and gas companies that I met recently, they actually provide lot of support, not only from mentorship, but also in terms of grants and funds
Yeah.
to women entrepreneurs who are in the oil and gas or the carbon footprint, so and so space, right? So this is amazing to know that there are organizations such as this who are actually working towards
Yes.
supporting women entrepreneurship as well. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So this is what the whole awards initiatives are, right? Now, coming back to your question, right? The kind of mechanism that we have put is, it's a very simple process. You go to the website, which is register.billenniumdivas.fund, register .billenniumdivas.fund. Okay, there
Yeah.
you will find a process where there are award
Mm.
categories. You need to
Yeah.
click on the award categories, select
Yeah.
the category that you are interested in, okay, based on
Mm.
your organization or your work, okay. Then there is also below that there is a documentation which showcases you on what are the
Yeah.
areas on which you need to create a presentation.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
before I come to that, let me again re-highlight. The process is, you need to submit your nomination. Along with that, you need to submit 2 years of your work
Okay.
about you or about your organization. Okay. Now,
Yes.
how do you do that? I'll come to
Mm.
that in just another second. But the idea is that, look, uh, there are deserving candidates and there are desiring candidates, right? I desire to win an award, but do I really deserve that? Now, who are we to actually tell you that whether you deserve or not? To be
Yeah.
very honest, we are not someone who would want to, but we are at least making sure that we are creating a mechanism or a platform where you could come and say, okay, look, I think I have done some considerable work, and
Yes.
I have been, I would love to be a part of such an initiative which provides fair play and transparency. That's the
Yes.
first phase of
Yes.
what we want to achieve,
Yeah.
right? Now, when you want to process your nomination, you have to submit 2 years of your work based on the parameters that we have set. Now, for
Yeah.
example, let me pick up one of the award categories. So, for example, Women Power in FinTech, which means Women in FinTech Award, it talks about the aspects of recognizing women entrepreneurs and their organization, which can be defined in terms of the deliverable, tangible results that they have been able to achieve to
Yeah.
their bottom line and top line of the business.
Yeah.
Okay. What are the judges looking for when you're looking at nomination process documentation? So you have to put together a 10-pager case study presentation or a presentation in areas such as innovation. Okay, how has your organization been innovative? Okay, what has been the mechanism through which you have been able to bring productivity within your organization? What kind of
Yeah.
technology enablement that you have done within your organization in terms of use of technology? What kind of leadership skills that you have been able to showcase in terms of empowering your own organizational professionals or your employees for that matter? Your ecosystem enablers such as your vendors, your partners, right? These are your external professionals which you engage with, or external stakeholders as we call it, right? So what you need to do is you need to put together a documentation which showcases those 5 6 parameters.
Mm.
Now, based on that, we obtain a scoring based on the following criteria that are attributed for the
Yes.
organization. So it can be innovation, it can be professionalism, productivity, use of technology, leadership. A small thing such as if you have got a ISO certification or a quality certification from a reputed institute,
Mm.
are you a DIPP certified startup or a MSME certified business,
Mm.
right? Have you won previous awards, in the industry,
Yeah.
uh, so on and so forth, right? So once you put this entire thing together in the form of a 10-pager presentation,
Mm.
okay, and the documentation is there, you just need to go to the website and there is a link which says download the process documentation,
Yes.
okay. Now, based on this, what you need to do is, so there are two benefits, okay. The first is you as an entrepreneur or as a business stakeholder or as a CXO or a CEO of the company, you are able to visualize the past 2 years of your performance, or
Yeah.
you are able to evaluate the past 2 years of your performance.
Yes.
This tells you what you have been doing and what you have been doing, right? So that gives you a opportunity to look back and see how your organization has been performing. Now,
Yes.
let me tell you, it is a human tendency that we tend to keep moving forward in our lives, right? And sometimes we forget that, there are certain things that you would have done in the past which would have created a positive impact or a
Yes.
negative impact for your organization.
Mm.
So this gives you an opportunity to look back and realign and redefine your entire business. Okay.
Yeah.
And trust me, this is not just come from anywhere. This has been a proven methodology that we have done in the past, and there have been organizations who have come back and told us, "Look, Avish, this process has actually helped us look back into what we were doing and what we are not doing right now." Right. So
Mm.
there's a great way to put this entire thing together. Now, how
Yeah.
many of you guys will do this? I think very few people actually do this, right?
Mm.
So this is one of the benefits that you are able to, वो कहते हैं ना हिंदी में, पूरा 2 साल का ब्यौरा हमें पता चलता है कि हम कहाँ पे हैं, where are we standing for the past 2 years, and where do we
Yeah.
need to move in the second
Yeah.
benefit is this brings in a lot of transparency when you are putting those entire presentation together. It also ensures
Mm.
that we also get a transparency and a methodology to select you. You need to have a
Yes.
methodology to select, right? How do we select? We just don't want to select because you have submitted the nomination or because you have paid the money, right? We don't want to
Yeah.
do that. There has to be a rationality that we are trying to bring in. And with our
Of
limited
course.
experience, we have been able to somehow been successful in putting this together. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
sure we are not 100% perfect, and we are very open to say that, right? But it's a very earnest and a very sincere effort that we have put together, that we
Yeah.
would want to really recognize you based on your work, on the kind of process that you have internally put, and the kind of
Yeah.
effort that you are going to put, right? uh, Trust me, whether you win or not, I think that's the secondary aspect. But I will definitely guarantee you that it will give you a real value, that you got an opportunity to look back into your business and understand the next 2 3 years to plan accordingly as well. So
Exactly.
that's my submission to this.
Yeah. So basically, the first two questions, that the deadline has been extended till 5th of April, till 11 p.m. India time. And what you need to do is, like, in the description box below in this video, you will find the registration link, how you need to go ahead. There is a document checklist that you need to fill it up, and then rest we are there. That brings me back to the next question is, what you mentioned just now is that you need to put your last 2 years of summary, what you have done, highest and lowest, and so that makes it totally different. But there are always processes involved with award ceremonies. You explained it to me right now that this award has got a certain process, and there are non-biased juries from different kinds of industries to evaluate on this one. But still, if you have to put it in nutshell, how different are these Billennium Divas awards from any other women empowerment awards, Bhavishji?
Fantastic. Shubhangi, let me recorrect you. Women don't need empowerment. And I will say it every time because I firmly believe that, because
Yeah,
we as an
empowered.
organization firmly believe that. We all are empowered. In fact, women are more empowered than men. And I'm very proud to say that, because I have my mother who was there, with us, and she was an empowered woman. I have sisters. I have two, three. I have a lot of sisters now that I've made in that, right? So coming to your question, okay, how are we different, right? So one is, see, we are a platform, we are a
Mm,
community, and
yeah.
we are an ecosystem enabler for women entrepreneurship. Okay, so that's the first
Mm,
differentiator. We are not an event management
mm,
company where we want to, make profits out of it. Yes, business needs to make profit. Okay, but that's not our business. Our core business is not into events. Our core business is into looking at how can we nurture and encourage more women in entrepreneurship. How can we provide them a platform to look at, not only from a local business perspective, but from a global business perspective. And I think
yes.
you have been leading our UK and Europe front, as an evangelist. We are putting together,
Mm,
another country, Australia. We are opening up with another evangelist
yeah.
joining us. We are opening
Mm,
up US, right? So
yeah.
we are trying to create a platform. We are trying to build a more robust platform where women entrepreneurs can come in and not just look at networking opportunities or learning opportunities, right? As a business, you need to make money. There should
Mm,
be money in your bank account. Can we help you reach out to global markets, right? So that's the whole objective, right?
yeah.
The second aspect is that we are making sure that we are recognizing people based on the merits through which,
Yeah.
and that is why we are putting this entire awards together. The third
Mm,
is, as I said, that these are really thought, driven approaches that we have put. We have
yeah.
put a lot of
Yeah.
thought before we entered into, talking about creating an award mechanism. And I personally come
Yeah.
from this industry. I've spent 20 years in the event industry. I understand how awards work, what goes behind putting the entire process together. There's a lot of
Yeah.
hard work, trust me, because people are going to point at you saying that, hey, look, on what basis are you giving them an award and not us, right? So that is where we have been very cautious and very conscious that we need to make
Yeah.
sure that there is at least maximum amount of transparency that we could bring in, and
Yeah.
maximum amount of effort that we can help you to
Mm,
understand why you should be applying for similar awards in the industry, right?
of course. Of
And
course.
that's why if you see on the presentation also, on the form also, there is a nominal fee that we have clearly mentioned, right?
Yeah.
It is, there's no hidden agenda for us. It's a very
Yeah.
straightforward approach that we want to take, because I am going to be responsible, my team is going to be responsible, right? It is not about those monetary benefits. In fact, a lot of women entrepreneurs, I'm very happy. A lot of them actually came back to us and said, "Hey, look, why are you charging? Are they paid awards?" I said, "What do you mean by paid? So please explain that, right?" So, and I told them that, look, we don't do where we send you the nomination form and then we tell you that you've won the award, and then at the back end we send you an email saying that you now have to pay 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 rupees. Sorry, we don't want to do that. I mean, that's their business, and I think they are right in their spaces. We are right in our spaces. That
Yes.
is what is a very, very honest, very sincere approach that we want to do, right? We believe in first adding value, and then we will talk about valuation, and I always advocate that as well. So
Yeah.
that is why we are different from the others. And I think we should thank people who are doing this. I think they are a great encouragement to us, that there is a space there where we could fill those gaps and make it more process oriented, more rational driven approach. And that's our honest and sincere effort in that.
Okay. I mean, see, you initially you explained it to me that it is a stringent process. It is not a straightforward process if you are applying for the awards, because this is a very, very, specific kinds of awards where judges will give the awards based on very hardcore methodological criteria that you have to clear step by step. It is not about paying registration fees and getting the awards. As you said correctly, that there is a 20-page documentation where last 2 years of your strategies, you have to put the certification and your recognition in the industry. Now the thing is, Bhavishji, I understand this has been a very niche and a very different kinds of awards. But let's say if I make the payment in form of a registration fee, and I am confident my documentation is perfect, but there is another industry, or there is another nomination, I'm saying. So let me give you an example. So there are two companies who have been doing exceptionally well in last 2 years, have won many awards, have been many certifications, and they have cleared this 20-page documentation exceptionally well. But there is another company who has done equally well when it comes to turnover, quality, yeah, delivering in the industry, but may not be recognized through the awards. So there could be like 20, 30% of differences. So in this case, if I have a potential to grow through this recognition, will I be considered as one of the strong candidates, or will I be a runner up? How does that work?
Okay. So thank you. I think that's a very, very valid question. And thank you so much for bringing this together.
Yeah.
Uh, See, what we want, all the nominees to do is first is understand the process. Number one,
Yeah.
understand what are we asking for. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, the whole winning or not winning is a secondary aspect, right?
Right.
Uh, what we want from you is a very sincere and honest effort
Mm.
and a very impactful effort when you're putting together the 10 pager presentation. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's why we have put those guidelines also in the
Mm.
document, that if you're selecting for this category, these are some of the areas that you need to focus on, right? Focus
Mm.
on growth, focus on revenues, focus on innovation,
Mm.
focus on transformation that you have been
Yeah.
able to bring within your organization or within the industry, right?
Yeah.
Then back it up with maybe a certification that you have got from the government or any quality institution that you have applied for, or any awards
Mm.
that you have won, right? Uh, Now, what happens is the more stronger your case, okay, the better the chances for you to win. Okay, it's as
Yeah.
simple as that, right? So, I remember way back 22, 25 years ago, my father said, जितना certification आप जमा करोगे उतना अच्छा होगा आपको for you to get a job, right? Uh,
Mm.
that's, it's all about quality. Simple. It's all about quality, right? The kind of quality presentation that you make uh, should impress the juries, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you go and raise funds, what happens, right? You show numbers, right? You show facts and figures, right? The more facts and figures you pack it into your presentation, the better the chances are, right?
Yeah.
And whether you win or not is a secondary aspect. But वो सब कहते हैं ना कि everyone is a winner, right?
Yes.
Some win, some lose. That's a part of the space.
Mm.
As I said, two things will happen. One is you will win.
Yeah.
In case if you do not win, what we're anyways doing is the nomination fees that we are charging you. We are
Mm.
charging you for the process that we have put, right?
Yes.
That's the first. The
Mm.
second is we are also giving you one attendee pass to attend the event. Okay.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So we are compensating that. Okay.
Mm.
The third aspect is we will give you a citation certification stating that you have been a part of Women Power Summit and Awards. Right now, that's a great value. Right. Uh, let's look at a small perspective. Right. Why would associations and institutes such as Thai Global, Government of Gujarat, BSc come forward? Because when we went out and talked to those reputed institutions, right, we actually also showcase them why we are doing it, right? And
Yeah.
there is a objective through which we are putting this entire event together, right?
Yeah.
And we have done successfully Women Power 2019. We have done
Yeah.
Asia's largest summit called Women Millionaire Summit with 600 women entrepreneurs from 13 different countries, with Mr. Jack
Yeah.
Canfield as our guest of honor and the chief speaker that we have had, right?
Yeah.
We have done Impact Summit virtually with 250 plus entrepreneurs participating.
Yeah.
The idea is to first create an impact, number one, right? The idea is to make sure that you recognize yourself. We will just honor you and facilitate you. That's it. So that's what we want to do. Uh,
Yeah.
uh, One of the thoughts, behind this whole award was to make sure that you understand that it is not just recognition that is going to take you forward in life, right?
Yeah.
When you achieve something, you need to pack your bag. When you do a mistake, you need to slap your face. As simple as that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So this is what we want to bring in from an approach
Mm.
that, look, if you apply for this, make sure that you understand why you are doing it. And that is the reason why we want quality, right? Otherwise, trust me, in the past 1.5 months, the kind of active engagement that we are doing on physical spaces in terms of calls that are going out to the identified women entrepreneurs, the digital media
Yeah.
engagement that we are doing, we would have reached more than 1,000 plus applications. Okay, but
Mm.
that is not the objective. We don't want 10,000 applications coming in, then we are trying to figure out whom we should give, right? May the best deserving candidate win is what we say. We are looking for
Yeah.
quality. We don't want
Yeah.
10,000 applications. Even if we receive 10 applications in each category, we would be more than happy. We would be delighted
Yeah.
because this 10
Mm.
women entrepreneurs or this 10 applicants would have really put that effort.
Yeah.
We are also helping them. So, for
Yeah.
example, if you are facing any problem in filling up that, right?
Yeah.
Me and my team is available on a call.
Yes.
You can reach out to us. My numbers are mentioned. My details are available. I am
Mm.
on WhatsApp. I am on Insta. I am on calls, and we will guide you in terms of how do you put the process together. And trust me, we have been doing that. All the
Yeah.
nominations that we have received, most of them we have gone ahead and told them
Mm.
what do you need to do. In fact, to the extent that we have helped them in terms of how do you utilize technology to upload your documentation, or how do you create a much more robust presentation
Mm.
through various softwares that are available. Canva is one of the best examples.
Yes.
I always like. You can
Yeah.
create a great PowerPoint presentations through Canva. Microsoft PowerPoint is another beautiful tool that has
Yeah.
been there for ages, right? So we are there to help them, okay,
Yes.
at whatever stages they are there. We are trying to help them. We have
Yeah.
received nominations as far as Delhi, Jammu, Hyderabad,
Mm.
Orissa,
Mm.
and I have been on calls with those women entrepreneurs, guiding them.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and trust me, we have also said no to people saying, that look, I don't think you should apply for this awards.
Wow.
Uh, and we've done that because it is not about, just encouraging them just because we want to encourage. I think there has
Yeah.
to be a very rational approach. The more candid we are, the more, process driven we are. I think Women Power Summit and Awards 2021, 22, 23, 24, we will make a mark,
Yeah.
right, as we proceed. As every year we would make it much more impactful. We will make it more robust, more stringent,
Yeah.
because if you want to create a benchmark, you need to be better than what you are today, and much better than what you should be tomorrow, right? So you need to break those benchmarks.
Yeah.
You need to keep achieving those milestones and excel, and that's what our approach is. That we would want to reach 10, we would want to reach 20 tomorrow, we want to reach
Quality.
30
Mm.
quality.
Yeah, of course. I
That's
mean,
what it is.
that's a very in depth. Thank you, Bhavishji. Now, I want to understand. There is this was the question asked to me by one of the candidate who wanted to fill up the form, and she came to me and she said, "Why are you charging registration fees? I mean, are the awards not supposed to be free? I mean, I did explain that there are certain criterias and we are a basic registration fee. But I want you to give a message to many people who would like to nominate, but they have a question why there is a fee structure. I mean, why there is a registration fee for the award.
Okay. Uh, as you got this question, I have been dealing with this question since we announced it, right?
First of all,
And
I want you to tell me the fee structure of the
okay,
registration form so that people should know what sort of registration fee are we charging in INR, in GBP, and in USD? If it is for just in INR, tell me the basic registration fee that we are getting questioned, why there is a fee.
okay, okay. So we are charging 3,499 rupees.
Okay.
Okay, 3,500 if I have to round it off for just for the conversation purpose.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, is this too high a fee? For some, yes. For some, no.
Hmm.
Okay. Uh, what is the value? Okay. The next question, right? And then I'll come to why are we charging? Okay. The next question. What is the value?
Yeah.
Okay. See, we are a for-profit organization. Okay. Number one. Number
Hmm.
two is there's a team that is working day and night behind it. There is a cost to it, right? There's a cost to it. We are not being funded by any private organizations or governmental institutions, right? In fact, most of the process that we have put are really put together by the entire team
Yeah.
as well. Okay, and number two is if you get something free, you don't value it,
Of course.
and this is not an unknown fact; it's a known fact, right? If you pay something, you will put that effort, right? That's the second thought process behind it. See, today, if I am getting anything free, I will say, oh, okay, chalo, theek hai, milega, nahi milega, understood, theek hai, mile, theek hai, nahi mila, oh, okay, next, maybe, right? Uh, there are people who I have seen paying 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 rupees, and I'm being very honest and I'm being very upfront, right? These are not paid awards. Simple. There is a process fee that we have put together because, as I said, we are also giving you one attendee pass
Yes.
against that, right? So there is a cost to it to us.
Hmm.
Now, there are two ways to get the cost nullified, right? One is we can get a bigger sponsor and then we make it free. But then what will happen is, again, there is a catch 22 situation, quality versus quantity. Okay, that's the first thought process. The second thought process is, yes, if you're making a payment of 3,500 rupees, wouldn't you put that effort in creating a more robust documentation? You paid that money, right? You would want to make sure that you are the best person to achieve that, right? The third aspect is, yes, we would also want to ensure that it is a fair and transparent process. And that's why we are making sure that we are not charging you so high that it is beyond your reach, right? And honestly, there is a cost to it, right? Now there's a cost to it. There have been debates. People say, "Oh, अगर आपको cost है तो आप क्यों कर रहे हो?" भाई हम कर रहे हैं. It's my business. I'm being very honest. It is
Yeah.
my business. If I don't make money, how am I going to create impact, right? I'm giving back to the society, but देने के लिए कुछ होना भी तो चाहिए ना. How much can you give to the society if you don't have something, right?
Yeah.
So all these things, summing it up, I don't think 3,500 rupees is a too big of an amount. We would do it for free also. We don't mind it. But then, would you be happy taking back an award which is just given to you without any process?
Yeah.
If you are happy, I think this is not the platform. I'm sure all the best to you. We would still salute you. We will still recognize you. We'll still honor you for what you are, right? But if you are really serious, don't look at the amount.
Yeah.
Look at what are you going to take back, right? The kind of learning that you're going to take back, the kind of recognition and acknowledgement that you're going to take back, and that's our sincere and honest effort. And trust me, there are a lot of institutions who have come forward and extended support to this, right? So I'm sure, as we proceed in the next annuals and the next annuals, people will understand the value of why we are doing what we are doing. And I think we should be very fair and transparent also. This is a platform. Come and explore. This is what we want to achieve, and we cannot achieve it without your support. You all have to come together, because I can only be a catalyst and encourage certain things. The rest is the community coming together, the ecosystem coming together. I think somewhere down the line we all have to come together and do such kind of initiatives, and we are very happy that there are similar initiatives happening in the country. That's my submission to this.
Yeah, I mean, see, very important point you have just explained. There are lot of awards which are happening all over the world, and last 1.5 months, as Bhavishi correctly said, that it has been pouring everywhere. But if we truly look at the awards, or that the awards category, or who are the organizers, I would suggest, from my personal experience, always have a look at the background, the status of the company, their impact in the society, their mission, their vision. What is the reason that they are doing or creating such platform? Who are the partners on the board? Who are the juries? I'm not trying to sell Billennium Divas here, because I don't have to, because it is a self-explanatory work. The categories of juries, the partners, including government agencies, Bombay Stock Exchange, and the basic and nominal registration fee. Most importantly, it's not an easy registration process. It is a stringent registration process, just to test you and how passionate you are, because we want like-minded people to come on the platform and to build a very strong community. Even if you deliver this thing, Bhaveshi, there is always a basic question back in the mind. If I pay the fee, do I qualify for the award?
If you pay the fee, you qualify for the participation in the process. Okay. There are chances that you might not win. Okay. And there are fair chances, because again, winning is purely based on the kind of work that you have showcased.
Yes.
The stronger your case study, the stronger your case, the better the chances of you winning.
Okay.
Even if you don't win, I think what you would have done is, through the process that you have followed, you will at least understand what you have done in the past 2 years. Right? So that's the first takeaway. The second takeaway is that we are anyways going to give you one all access attendee pass, so that you could also be able to learn on where you could have been able to improve and create a much better value proposition. That's the second. The third aspect is, there is always a chance that you would have missed something, right? No matter, I think, as I said, we don't want quantity of nominations flowing in. We are happy with a few coming in and making sure that
Mm.
it will recognize. And trust me, at the end of the day, you will be very happy and content that at least you got an opportunity to review your business
Yeah.
in a much rational manner.
Yes.
If you don't win,
Mm.
I think the world does not end there. I think it is a great, I always say it's better to try and fail rather than fail to try, right?
Okay.
And this holds value for all of us,
Yeah. Of
right?
course.
We're also, evaluating and evolving as we proceed further.
Okay.
So no matter, it doesn't qualify you for winning the award, which means if you pay, you're not guaranteed that you will win an award.
Of course.
Okay. If that is the notion,
Yeah.
may I request, please do not push in your nomination. I'll be very, again, candid and honest.
Yeah.
Don't do it because you want to win. Do it because you want to surely win based on what you would want to
Yeah.
put together as a case study.
Yes.
Put that effort.
Yeah.
If you don't put that effort, you will be very disappointed because you will feel, काश मैंने वो थोड़ी सी मेहनत की होती, काश मैंने और एक I have this woman entrepreneur who spent the whole night preparing the presentation, and at 4:30 in the morning she sends me that presentation. I said, don't send it across to me, please send it on the platform. I will not be the person who will evaluate. It's the jury who is going to evaluate. Even if you send it across to me, we will not accept it because it has to go. Once you're registered on the website, you put in your nomination process there and
Mm.
submit a documentation.
Yeah.
So to that level, we have made sure that it is not influenced.
Yeah.
Okay, it is
So,
not
I
influenced.
mean, not only that, you forgot to mention about another lady who came from a rural area with a very good, business exploration, and she wanted to get the recognition, and she did have some problems in English. So I remember you explained it to me that when she called, she was really not sure because she was calling you because somebody told her to go ahead and. She was a bit hesitant, and you spoke to her in your native language and then helped her to fill it up, and she was happy. Rather, Billennium Divas is all about creating a platform to encourage women entrepreneurs, and this is one of the best examples, the scenes which go behind the show, and this is one of the greatest one. And that's why I truly say that try and understand the soul behind these awards. It is genuinely to bring those genuine women entrepreneurs who truly needs a recognition and who has done a genuine work to get recognized, not about registration fee or do I get it or not. Last few questions, Bhaveshji. Are there, international companies or international individuals, can they apply for these awards?
See, the awards are open across
Yeah.
the
Okay.
award are open across the globe. We are
Yeah.
not restricting to India only.
Yeah.
The only challenge will be that for you to receive the award, either you have to be physically present or you'll have to put some representation.
Yeah.
If you have someone local
Yeah.
who could come in, because the event is going to be happening on the 8th of May at Bombay Stock Exchange at the auditorium, the BSC auditorium.
Mm.
Now, the reason why we also chosen, if you look at the history of women power summits that we have done, right, we've also made sure that we are not doing this in five-star hotels with a lot of limelight and glamour. We
Yeah.
could very well do that. I come from a corporate events background where 99.9% of my events have happened in one of the best five-star hotels in the country,
Yeah.
across India, right? We have been also very conscious and cautious on the partners that we select, right? So the first Women Power happened at BSc, again, as I said, in 2016. Then we did it in association with IIT Mumbai in 2017. 2018, we did not do anything because we were doing one of the largest summits called Startup Investors Summit,
Yeah.
which was where we had one category, one specific segment for women entrepreneurs, but across that. So 2018, we did that. 2019, we did 3 series.
Yeah.
One in association with NSE, National Stock Exchange. The second in association with EDI and Government of Gujarat. And third in association with Pune University.
Yes.
So and again, coming back to Bombay Stock Exchange, The reason is, if you look at all those institutions or all those locations where we engaged,
Yeah.
they are engaged with the startup ecosystem,
Yes.
and most of them are engaged with the startup platforms. So, for example, BSE has a BSE Startup Exchange,
Yeah.
right? So there are now three ways of raising funds. One is through your either your own pocket or take a loan, from either family, friends, or banks. The second is equity. The third is raise funds via exchanges, right? So BSE and NSE both have startup exchanges that are encouraging. Again, for you to qualify, there is a process and a stringent criteria,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Right. So so imagine you standing at BSE and say, "Hey, look, I wish to reach this particular pinnacle of my business where I want to launch my IPO or launch my business on an exchange." Right. So that's the vision as an entrepreneur you all have, right? So that's why we have selected those venues,
Mm.
right? So that's the first part. The second aspect of this is, which is very, very crucial, is these are industry process driven awards.
Yeah.
So we would want to make sure that they are relevant in that
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
So that's what we want to achieve through this.
Yeah. Okay. About BAC and the other partners, has it been always Billennium Divas, coordinating and taking government, agencies or uh, people who are supporting, such kind of initiatives? What is your selection criteria when you are selecting the partners or doing such events in an organization? Because that's a very important aspect. I have seen that you are more keen of having not privileged, but the agencies or the organizations who are truly working in this cause rather than giving preference to those private sectors who are paying more. So your sponsorship criteria is also very, very I mean specific, isn't it? So what's the story behind that one, Bhavishji?
So, Shivangi, see, as I said, we are not a event management company, right?
Mm,
We are a community of women entrepreneurs. We are a platform. We are putting together a fund, where we would want to invest in early stage startups which are founded or co-founded women entrepreneurs. Okay.
yeah.
Uh, so the criteria are very, very stringent. We would want to associate with the institutions or organizations who are impacting the startup ecosystem. Okay, that's the first criteria. The second criteria is, we don't take sponsorships, to be very honest. We go out and seek for support coming in.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I think there is ample of opportunity for collaborations. There is ample of opportunity where we could seek out support from institutions or organizations which are aligned to the thought process of adding value to the startup ecosystem, right? So if you look at the current partners that we have, right, and if you look at the past partners that we have associated,
Mm,
we have had community players who have been active in the women entrepreneurship, or as people call women empowerment. Okay, we have associated with them. We have associated with names like Bombay Stock Exchange, NSC, Government of Gujarat, iHub, NSSIP,
yeah.
EDII. We have Thai Women Entrepreneurship Platform that is supporting us, and thanks to them, we are talking to a few more ecosystem players like GCCI,
Yeah.
Women's Wing,
Yeah.
right? We're talking to Fiki Flow
Mm,
on how we could be able to collaborate on that. So if you look at the players that we have,
yes.
uh, all of them are actually coming together to see how we could be able to bring and nurture and encourage
Yeah.
this particular space as well.
Yeah.
So the thought process is, one is, can you be collaborative? Let's work together.
Mm,
Alone, I can do so much. Together, we can achieve more, right?
of course.
So that's the whole idea behind putting this whole event or whole objective of Women Power Summit and Awards is.
All right, fine. The last but very important question. In my initial description, I did mention that opportunity for selected startups to pitch to investors for funding, and top three selected startups to win amazing prizes, and many more. Can you just explain in nutshell opportunity for selected startups to pitch the investor? So what is the idea exactly, and how is it going to happen?
So till 2019, 2020 is anyways a washout. Till 2019, Women Power had two aspects.
Yeah.
Okay, the first aspect was of a conference summit
Mm.
where we bring in women entrepreneurs from the industry as speakers, talk about various aspects of businesses. Right. So 95% of our speakers have been women entrepreneurs, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, again, we are very selective in terms of making sure the content is curated, the speakers are curated as well,
Yeah.
right? So that's the first.
Mm.
And then the second aspect was we used to request for startups which are founded or co-founded by women entrepreneurs.
Mm.
Again, for you to be a part of Women Power Summit, you have to be either a woman entrepreneur or a woman co-founder
Yeah.
to be a part of this.
Yeah.
So the first aspect was a knowledge driven. The second aspect is fundraising, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So startups who want to raise funds
Yeah.
can join in for a pitch session
Yeah.
where they are given 7 to 8 minutes to talk about their business and pitch in front of the investors and look at if they can raise funds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So again, we are trying to bring in both the parties, right? The startups and the investors together and say, hey, look, this is a platform that we are giving. Come here, talk about your business. We have investors whom we have invited, pitch to them and look at fundraise.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the second aspect. But more importantly, what we have also done is before you get selected among the top 5 or the top 10 startups to pitch in front of the investors, you are given a hand holding of 2 to 3 weeks in terms of how do you pitch in front of the investors? How do you put your value proposition? You don't need to have a story. You need to have a sales-driven approach story, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Because investors are not looking at how lucrative your business looks. How are you making money is what they are interested in, right? How are you adding value at the end?
Yes.
Right. So it's also again a process-driven approach. Okay. So that's the second aspect. What we have changed now in Women Power Summit and Awards is we have a conference where we will invite speakers from the industry on topics which are currently the burning issues, right? Right now, the burning issue is how do I sustain and grow my business because of the pandemic as well, right? How do I make sure that I add value to the customers? How do I look at not only local but global opportunities or local opportunities as well, right? Then, so one is the panel discussion and case study presentations. We have a fireside chat. Then we have a pitch session where we invite women entrepreneurs to pitch in front of investors.
Yeah.
Followed with that, in the evening, we have the award ceremony where we will felicitate women achievers on the presentation and the criteria that we have put. So this is the whole one-day event that we have put together. One very critical aspect that I want to mention, and I should not be forgetting, is that all this entire activity that is going to be happening is again going to be more of process driven. Simple, it's a process driven approach, right?
Yeah.
And last but not the least, if you look at Women Power Summit and Awards, right? What we are doing is we are also giving 5 desk spaces free to 5 women entrepreneurs to showcase their product or services.
Yeah.
Right? Why are we doing that? We want to encourage that, look, we have a platform, come, showcase your products. Preferably in tier 2, tier 3 cities is what we would want you to be from, So that's about it.
Yeah, well, brilliant. That leads me to our last question. It's very exciting, everything, the process and everything, but sometimes the circumstances are not in our hands, Bhaveshji, and you know exactly what I'm talking about, is the lockdown, corona. what happens on 8th of May? Everything is planned, and I'm pretty excited. Let's say the awardees are pretty excited, but there are lockdown problems. In that case, what happens to the entire gala awards ceremony and the presentation? And do I get to receive an award? If not on 8th May, are there any virtual setups? What is the plan, just in case?
Okay. Yeah. So, Shivangi, this has been a big worry. I have been spending sleepless nights, thinking about this, and uh, and I have consulted all my advisory board, the venue partners, BSC. Okay. Uh, there are three scenarios that we are currently contemplating.
Mm.
The first scenario is that life comes to normal and we proceed by God's grace. uh, I'm sure our efforts are sincere and honest, and I'm sure the universe will support us. So that's keeping fingers crossed. Okay, I'm hoping for everything to be the best. But again, right, as an entrepreneur, you have to be well ready for all the adversities that might strike you, so that you're not caught unaware, right? So we do have contingencies in plan.
Yeah.
Let's start with the worst case scenarios, right? The whole world goes again into lockdown. Okay. Now there's nothing that we could do.
Yeah.
Okay. The only thing we could do is make sure that we don't go virtual in the first place. Okay. We would still want to continue, make it more physical, because uh, it's been a year of, virtuals,
Okay. Yeah.
staring at the screens.
Yeah.
I don't like to look myself on my screen. I don't like myself on the screen. So, we don't want to stare on screens. As simple as that, right? So, uh, we don't want to take it virtual. We are trying our level best so that we can make it physical
Yeah.
as well, right?
Mm. Mm.
The worst case scenario, we would want to postpone it, okay, and make sure that
Yeah.
we still continue doing physical. Okay.
Mm.
The second scenario that we have right now as we speak is the limited capacity, which under all the guidelines of, having not more than 50 people,
Mm.
with social distancing. So if you look at the venue, it's a huge, auditorium. It can accommodate 500 people at one go for a conference like this,
Yeah.
or for a award ceremony like this, right? It's BSC's auditorium, which is a very huge auditorium.
Yes.
Even if I spread, with the 6 feet, norm, right?
Yeah.
We could accommodate more than 125 people, 126 to be very precise, with all the measurements that we have done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Uh, but even if the worst case, the government says, look, not more than 50 people, right? We will still continue with those 50 people.
Yeah.
People who are in the near vicinity can join in. People who are outside can. We will make it hybrid, where we will say, okay, the awardees can join in virtually all as well.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and we will courier them their due recognition and award to their spaces.
Yes.
So we will do that. Okay, so that's the worst come scenario. Coming to the least worst come scenario, if if things go good, the ban or the lifting of 50 people, we'll still do it in a very small gathering.
Yeah.
But again, with all the safety precautions and the measures, sanitization, and BSC is a secured, it's a fortress. Okay.
Yeah.
If you have to get in, you need to follow certain processes and, security measures, right?
Of course.
So obviously, with all those, we will still proceed. And if goodness blesses us, we will have a much gala award ceremony happening, right?
Yeah.
So in either ways, we will still continue to go forward. Worst case scenario, we might, if the world goes to lockdown, then obviously we have to postpone it. See, in 2020, we were supposed to do Women Power Summit, WPSA 2020, in April in Gurgaon,
Yeah.
right? And March third week, we all were locked in.
Yeah.
So there's nothing that we could do, right? Uh, but we will continue. We are confident that we will move forward.
Yeah.
We don't want to do virtual, to be very honest.
Yeah.
We don't want to do virtual.
Yeah.
It will kill the charm, of the whole thing. But we
Yeah.
are also very conscious and cautious that we don't want to take risk. We don't want to put any lives in jeopardy,
Yeah.
and sabotage or go against any standard processes and procedures. We will abide by all the rules and regulations,
Of course.
right?
Yeah.
So thank you for bringing this question, because this gives me an opportunity to humbly, request everyone to extend your support. We all are in this together.
Yeah.
Uh, Please, support us so that we together can make this, successful. It is not just, I alone or the team of Billennium Divas alone can do this. We
Yeah.
will all need to come together, come with double the force, and let's do it. I
Yeah.
think, so that's what my appeal to everyone is, that
Yes.
come in, please join.
Yeah.
We want to do this, and we will do it for that fact.
Of course. See, that comes to the end of our session, and the key highlights, as Bhavishji explained, the announcement, the big announcement that the awards registration submission deadline has been extended to 5th of April till 11 p.m. India time. He in depth explained what is the registration process, followed with documentation with last 2 years of your dedicated thought process, results and ups and downs and certifications or recognition that you need to fill up. If I'm not wrong, Bhavishji, they also have to go through the jury panel interview as well at one point of time, and then the uh, after the critical selection process, obviously, the awardees will be announced, as very correctly said by Bhavishji. Fingers crossed, universe might support. And 8th of May, we all will meet in Bombay Stock Exchange. If not, then backup plan is always there. Just to know more about the awards categories, at the end of this video, you will see the 40 specific nomination. Another important feature that Bhaviji has explained, that this registration is open for international candidates as well, provided they fulfill all the criterias, which was explained by Bhaviji. So looking forward for more registrations and more inquiries, the genuine one. This is not a platform that you pay and get the awards. This is a platform where genuine women entrepreneurs will be recognized and celebrated. Thank you, Bhavishji. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
And I'll see you soon. Take care, sir.
Absolutely. Thank
Bye.
you. All the best to all the winners,
Yes.
and all the best to everyone.
Yes. Okay. See you then.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.